Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm flying from my home base of Monroe, North Carolina to Martinsville, Virginia. Now most of you probably know Martinsville is home to a very large NASCAR race every year. But for the purposes of this flight today, I'm just flying up for a nice lunch. Today's flight will route from Monroe north outside of the Charlotte class Bravo into north central North Carolina, past Greensboro, and up over Winston-Salem, finally landing in Martinsville, which is just over the border of North Carolina and Virginia. The day is bright and sunny, and conditions are great for an enjoyable flight up north. A quick turn out over the Monroe Quarry, and we are on our way. Flight time today is right at 1 hour, with an altitude of 5,500 feet. As I got higher, it looked like the cloud base was right at my selected altitude. And since I'm a VFR pilot, I had to consider the possibility that the cloud layer would increase as I proceeded north. I could drop down to 3,500, which is not necessarily great for safety, but there was also the Winston-Salem class Delta I was planning to overfly. 3,500 would put me square into their airspace. Now, I initially decided to descend and go around the class Delta in favor of remaining clear of the clouds, but the more north I went, the more the cloud layer broke up. Eventually I reversed the decision to stay low, and I went back up to my planned altitude of 5,500 feet, figuring I could just monitor from there. Found a nice place to skim between the clouds and make my way up top. If the clouds became thicker, I could always turn around and go back the other direction to get back below the deck. But as it turned out, it worked in my favor as the cloud layer continued to thin out as I moved on. Just past Winston-Salem, the clouds finally disappeared, and I had smooth flying for the rest of the trip. Once I got above the cloud layer, it was amazing how smooth the air was. In short order, it was time to set up for landing. Winds were light, and set up for runway 31 at the Blue Ridge Airport. I set up for a normal pattern entry, downwind, with no traffic in sight. After a nice smooth landing and a quick taxi back to the parking area, it was all set for lunch. The airport recently expanded the parking ramp to accommodate all the private jet traffic that the NASCAR races bring in. On race weekend, there are jets lined up for days. Today, just 2, and my little Cessna. The blue-roofed building was my destination for the day. Simply Suzanne's Cafe. I'd heard great things from other pilots about the restaurant and wanted to treat myself to a nice meal. A little shutdown action, and we were ready for lunch. I did not get the opportunity to video the interior of the cafe or the FBO, something I'll make sure to do for the next session. The FBO is located in the same building as the cafe, and they have incredible outside seating to watch all the action on the flight line. Lunch consisted of one of the largest club sandwiches I have ever seen. Fantastic quality and super friendly service. For those interested, here's a shot of the menu, and links to the cafe are down below. I'll mention that the hours here have changed a bit, and they're only open from lunch from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and absolutely closed on Mondays. After enjoying the meal and talking with a nice couple from Richmond who also flew up for lunch, it was time to head back home. Great sights on the way back, and I was able to skirt beneath the clouds, making the trip a visual experience that won't forget, other than the sun constantly in my eyes. A quick setup for runway 5, and I was soon coming in for a smooth landing back in Monroe. With 7,000 feet of runway, Monroe is an easy place to land, and very forgiving conditions with plenty of room. 2 flight schools fly out of the airport, so the traffic is usually busy, but today it wasn't so bad. You might notice all the aircraft on the left taxiway as I come in. The airport was hosting the annual Warbirds over Monroe air show the next day, so the ground crew had moved all the general aviation aircraft out of the normal parking area to make way for the static displays for the upcoming show. And that's it for this flight. Thanks for coming along. I plan to make more videos in the coming weeks showcasing different airports around the Southeast. Feel free to support this channel by subscribing so you can get notified when my next video hits. Take care for now, and keep your head in the clouds.